You can have whatever you want in life. Very simply. Very simply. Whatever you want in life is completely in your grasp. Any problem in life is very easily solvable. And you can do this by getting yourself into the drift and imagining the scenario as if you already have it, where the problem is solved or where you already have the thing that you want. And the drift is that time before sleep where you're like, you're not quite asleep, but you're not awake. You don't really have, and sometimes it feels like you don't really have control of your mind, but the whole point is training yourself to have control of your mind. But so when you go to sleep, when you're starting to fall asleep, you'll feel it. There's a moment when your body kind of shuts down, but your brain is still alive. And normally, if you haven't practiced, it's right before you fall asleep. So right before you fall asleep, there's a moment where your body's asleep, or it starts to fall asleep, and your mind is still awake, or you're still conscious of being. And it's very calming, very peaceful moment to be in. So in that moment, you imagine what you want or the solution to a problem as if it was already present. For instance, if you want a solution to a problem, you don't imagine the problem, you imagine the solution to the problem. It's very subtle. There's a very subtle difference. But anyway, you feel that, and you fall asleep in that feeling, and then the next day, you'll wake up in that feeling, and since consciousness creates reality, that will become your reality. Now, this is the solution to every problem in the whole world. And there is no such thing as a problem when you realize this. There is no such thing as lack. There is no such thing, whatever. Because you can have whatever you want right when you do this. You can have $1 million, whatever it is. I've done this successfully. I haven't done this to the point where, you know, I'm a millionaire. But I've done this to the point where life has, a couple things have happened just randomly. Like I got a promotion where I'm making more money, they asked me to be a supervisor. Or I do like resale on eBay, and I'll, visualize a lot of money before I go to bed. I'll go to garage sale and I'll find something valuable. It's simple, kind of dumb examples. Because I'm not perfect at it yet, but I can guarantee it does work. And you don't have to be asleep to do it either. You can do it while you're awake. You just got to get yourself into sort of a neutral zone. I'll give you a good example that happened to me that I thought was this was one of the best examples, and I use it a lot when I'm talking to people. Because it was so strange. I was taking a walk. I was taking a really long walk. I was probably like an hour away from my house. I was hungry. And, I was like, damn, I really want to keep walking, but I'm fucking hungry. And I don't want to go back. And I was on a trail in the woods, and there's nothing around. Like, there's no food around and no stores. I didn't have any money either, even if there was a store. So I was like, well, you know what? Apparently, you can get whatever you want through consciousness. So let me try. So I took a second, took a deep breath, and imagine what it would be like if I had already eaten, if I was filled up on this walk, if somehow I got food, and how that would feel. So I just imagined, I was like, wow, I've already had something to eat. Wow, it feels really good. That's great. So then I just went about my walk, I didn't forget about it, but I just didn't think about it again. And I just started to do what I wanted to do. So I saw this little trail that went off into the woods, like a little deer trail. And I was like, for some reason, I just felt like following it. So I followed this little trail, came onto this road, and it was like December. So this is why it was really weird. It was like December. Yeah, it was December. And it was warm out for some reason. I don't remember. It was a weird day. It was warm out. I'm in upstate New York, so it's actually weird. But I find this little road, and I follow the road down, and I see this tree. And what do you know? It's an apple tree. But it's December, right? There's no apples in December. But there were apples on this tree. And there was one apple, just one, within reach from the road. It was like a weird moment. It was a weird, like, magic, like a magical movie moment. I look and there's this one perfect apple dangling just where I can grab it. All the other apples are out of reach. So I picked this apple, and right, it's December, so it's like there's no apples out. So this was weird. It was so weird. It was like a Disney movie. Anyway, I picked this apple, and it was the best fucking apple I've ever eaten to this day. I've never had an apple this good. It was so good. And I ate it, and I was like, what the actual fuck? It was like 5 minutes later. It was so instantaneous. And that for me really shifted my view on all of this. Because for a long time, I'd watch these videos about manifesting and stuff. And as much as my heart desired to do it, I didn't fully believe it. I was like, but I don't know. This really turned the table for me. All of a sudden, this apple, it manifested out of thin air in December. It was so weird. And so I eat this apple. It was the best apple I ever had. And I'm like so fucking thankful. And of course, that's a dumb example. I mean, not a dumb example, but I wasn't starving or anything. Like, I just wanted some food. To find that apple, though, that moment was just a beautiful moment. So, give it a try. And don't get frustrated if it doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, you did something wrong, basically. It always works if you do it right. But you gotta give it up, kind of. You gotta do it, and you have to feel it where it's like, I already ate. You have that feeling. You don't have to believe that you're gonna eat, because then you're not in the feeling that you already ate. So it's like, I already have this thing. And once you do the visualization, and you already have this thing, then you don't want it anymore. And that's sort of the key. You don't really want it anymore. And it's not that I wasn't still hungry, but it was just, I did this visualization where I already ate. I was like, okay, that was nice. Like, I was really hungry, but now I kind of feel like I already ate something. I was like, all right, now I'm just going to have fun. Follow this deer trail. Boom, there was an apple. And so, like I said, this is a silly example. But a example nonetheless. A silly example, but it really was like, wow. It was very, very cool. So I encourage you, anyone who's watching, to try this out with anything you want. And if I was you, I would try to make it something a little bit smaller than like a brand new house or $1 million. Because those can happen too, but those are less believable to you, most likely. Like, those can happen just as easily as an apple. But most likely, if you try to give $1 million, first of all, you're going to have a hard time feeling that, because maybe you've never had that much money, so you don't know exactly what it feels like. And it's easier to do something smaller. You know exactly what it feels like to eat a good meal or, have a snack. You know exactly what it feels like to laugh. Like, let's say you've been really sad or something. You just want to laugh. So imagine what it would feel like to just be so happy, so laughed right now. Oh, I feel like that. Oh, that's great. And then before you know it, something happens. And you're like, oh my God, I'm laughing. And that's beautiful. I'm going to leave you with this. Check out this little bug over here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bug on this flower. Don't ask me why I got flowers. But there's a little bug on there. And he's been here with us. He's listening. You can kind of see him. Kind of out of focus. He's listening. He's moving his little antennas. I think he's very interested in this manifestation talk. He's like, I want to manifest my way out of this guy's fucking hand. Anyway, have a good day, night, whatever. And try that out, because it definitely works. And don't get frustrated over it either if it doesn't work. Just like, if anything, don't do it for the manifestation. Do it just because, like, you want to feel good. So, yeah, have a good day.